Imagine you are listening to an English speaker. You understand almost everything. You know the words. You understand the story. But then the speaker asks you a simple question, and suddenly you can't speak. You know what you want to say, but your mouth doesn't move as fast as your brain. Maybe you speak too slowly. Maybe you stop after every few words. Maybe you know the sentence, but it doesn't sound natural when you say it. If this sounds familiar, there is a simple practice that can help you. And you don't need a special teacher. You don't need an expensive course. You don't even need another person to practice with. You only need your voice, your ears, and a little English audio. This practice is called shadowing.
Yes, I can!
So, what exactly shadowing is? Imagine you're listening to an English speaker. They say, "I'm going to the supermarket." You don't wait for the sentence to finish. You don't translate it. You don't write it down. You simply listen and then repeat it. "I'm going to the supermarket." The speaker continues, "I need to buy some milk." And you follow, "I need to buy some milk." It's almost like you're the speaker's shadow. That's why we call it shadowing. You follow the speaker as closely as possible. You listen to their words. You copy their pronunciation. You copy their rhythm. And slowly, your mouth starts learning how English sounds. This is important because speaking English is not only about knowing vocabulary. You can know thousands of words and still have trouble speaking. Why? Because your brain may know the words, but your mouth hasn't practiced using them together. Think about learning to play the guitar. You can watch a great guitarist for 100 hours. You can understand every moment. But if you never touch the guitar, can you play? Probably not. Speaking is similar. Listening gives your brain information. Speaking practice teaches your mouth and tongue how to use that information. And shadowing gives you both. You listen and you speak, almost at the same time. Now, maybe you are thinking, but my pronunciation isn't good. That's okay. You don't need perfect pronunciation before you start shadowing. Actually, shadowing can help you improve it. Imagine you hear, "What are you doing?" You listen carefully. "What are you doing?" Then you copy it. "What are you doing?" Maybe your first attempt sounds slow. That's completely fine. Try again. After several repetitions, your mouth becomes more comfortable with the sounds. The sentence starts to feel familiar. And that's exactly what we want. We want English sentences to become automatic. Shadowing can also improve your English rhythm. English isn't spoken like a list of separate words. Speakers connect words, stress import words, and pause naturally. For example, you could say, "I want to go to the store." But natural English has a different rhythm. "I wanna go to the store." You don't need to sound exactly like a native speaker, but listening to natural English and copying its rhythm can make your speech more comfortable and natural. And here's something interesting. Shadowing can improve your listening too. When you shadow, you have to listen very carefully. You need to catch the words quickly. You need to hear pronunciation. You need to notice how words connect. At first, you may miss many words. That's normal. If you are an A1 or A2 learner, start with easy audio. Choose a short English lesson and a slow podcast or a simple story. The goal is not to make yourself suffer. The goal is to train your brain and mouth together. And you don't need to shadow for 1 hour. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Imagine you have a 30-second clip. Listen once and understand the meaning. Listen again and focus on pronunciation. Then play it again and repeat with the speaker. Do it 3 or 4 times. Don't stop after every word. Try to keep moving with the speaker. Maybe you practice the same 30 seconds 5 times. That's okay. You're training your ears. You're training your mouth. You're training your pronunciation and rhythm. And you're building speaking confidence. After a few days, you can use a longer clip. Maybe 1 minute. Then 2 minutes. Slowly. There is no need to rush. Also, choose English content that you actually enjoy. Maybe you like travel stories. Maybe you like sports. Maybe you like daily life. Maybe you like English learning videos. When you enjoy the content, practice becomes easier. It doesn't feel like homework. You're simply listening and copying. And after repeating the same sentence many times, something interesting happens. At first, you need to think about every word, but later, your mouth remembers the movement. You hear the sentence, and your mouth almost knows what to do. This is one of the most important benefits of shadowing. It helps make English more automatic. And that's exactly what you need in a real conversation. You don't want to spend 10 seconds building every sentence in your head. You want your English to come naturally. Of course, shadowing isn't magic. You still need vocabulary. You still need listening practice. You still need to learn how English sentences work. But shadowing connects these skills together. You hear English, you understand English, you speak English, and you repeat English. So let's make it simple. Starting today, choose one short English audio. Listen to it. Understand it. Then shadow it 3 times. The first time, just follow. The second time, focus on pronunciation. The third time, focus on rhythm and confidence. And don't worry about mistakes. If you miss a word, keep going. If your pronunciation isn't perfect, keep going. If you feel uncomfortable, keep going. Because that uncomfortable feeling means you are practicing something new. After a few weeks, you may notice that you're speaking faster. Your pronunciation feels easier, and some English sentences start coming out automatically. That's the power of shadowing. You don't just learn English with your eyes. You train your ears. You train your mouth. And you train your brain together. So the next time you listen to an English podcast, story, or lesson, don't just sit there and listen. Choose a short part, press play, and become the speaker's shadow. Listen, repeat. Listen, repeat. Again and again. Just 5 minutes a day. And slowly, your English will start to feel more natural.
Let's speak English.
Where is the station?
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If this lesson was useful for you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Easy English Real World for more slow English podcasts, speaking practice, and simple English learning tips. And now, I have a challenge for you. Find one English sentence from this video. Write it in the comments and then say it out loud 3 times. Don't just write it. Say it. Because English becomes stronger when you use your voice. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep speaking, and I will see you in the next episode.